What is going on, guys? It is Bucky and welcome to your 80th Java tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you guys how to add data to your files. So in the last tutorial we pretty much learned how to create an empty file. Not that useful, so let's go ahead and put something in it in this tutorial. And hold on one second, I got an itch in my ear. Oh, that felt good. I got it. Alright, so let's go ahead and import a couple things. We need to import Java.io, and let's go ahead and import everything from there. And as you can see, I made a separate class outside my main class, and I just named it create file because that's what we're going to be doing, creating files. That's why I named it that. So next, let's go ahead and put java.lang. We need some crap from in there. And lastly, let's go ahead and import java.util. Now, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be building in this tutorial, but this should cover everything. So without further ado, let me think, what do I want to do first? Well, the first thing we need to do is do a private formatter variable, and I'm going to name an X as usual. And what this is going to do is hold a formatter object. And let's go ahead and make a method to pretty much create and open a file. So let's go ahead and put public void, and we'll just name it open file. You can name it whatever you want. It doesn't take any parameters because it's just going to open a file. Now in this method, what we want to do, we got to have our try and catch block like always. So let's go ahead and try and set X equal to new formatter object, and go ahead and write a file name. Make sure you write one that you don't already have a file, or else you're gonna overwrite it. So I don't have a file called like Chinese.txt. You probably don't either, so you can use that. So go ahead and try and set this file equal to X. If you can't, let's just go ahead and catch an exception. So catch exception E, and this pretty much means if you get an error, what do you want to do? Let's do system out print line. Just put you have an error. No, error. There we go. Alright, so now whenever we call this method open file, it's pretty much just gonna set X equal to this file. It's pretty much just gonna give us a file so we can use. So now we have a file that we can use. So what do we want to do to that? Well, we want to add a record to it. So let's go ahead and put public void add records, and let's go ahead, and this isn't going to take any parameters either. And adding records is the easiest thing in the world. All you need to do is put the file you want added to, which is X, because remember we set equal to Chinese.txt, and what you do is the method is format, and this pretty much is like printf for files. And now again, how familiar is this? The format and the arguments. So for the format, let's insert 3 strings. The first one, let's say we're making like a user account. The first one will be the ID number, so we'll put like 20. It's my favorite number. And the second one will be my first name, which is Bucky. And the third piece of data will be Roberts, which is my last name. So that looks good right there. So now what this is going to do is insert 3 elements in the same line. It's going to say 20 Bucky Roberts. It's going to insert that in our file whenever we call this method add records. And the last thing that we want to do is write a method to close the file. So go ahead and write public void close file, or name it whatever you want, but that's pretty easy to remember. And why do we need to put, well, I'll show you guys what the thing is. X close, and close is built-in method, so that's why we can use this. And that's why we needed to include all these, so we can use this close method. But now let me tell you guys why we need to close this file. It's pretty much like a housekeeping thing. Whenever we exit our program, Windows usually, and I say usually, closes our file from writing, so nothing else can write in it. But sometimes, remember, every operating system is different. Sometimes, depending on your program, it can leave the file open. It can lead to some errors. So you always want to close your files. It's good programming. You always want to do it. I mean, you can probably get away with not doing it, but if you ever get a job as a Java programmer, they are going to be PO'd at you if you forget to close your files. It's probably going to cause some errors later down the road. So we're pretty much, recap, talking about something different now. We pretty much got 3 methods in here. We need to open the file, we need to add some records into it, and then we need to close the file because we're done with it. We don't want anyone else messing with it. So go ahead and in your main, or whatever your main method is, just go ahead and, well, we don't need to include anything, but what we do need is to create an object, and I name my class create file. So create file, I'm just gonna name it like G or something. New create file, doesn't take any parameters, we didn't make a constructor. And remember, we have 3 methods we built. Open file right there, G, what do we name it, add records right there. And so now we opened the file, we added the records, and now what we need to do is close that file because we're done with it. And now once we go ahead and run this program, nothing happens, but what it did is created a file on our computer. So if we highlight source, or actually Bucky, and put file refresh, it's pretty much going to refresh our computer. So now you see we get this Chinese.txt file that we just created. And the cool thing about Eclipse is it actually a text editor as well. So double click this file and it'll show you what's in your file, and that is 20 Bucky Roberts. This one is just the line number, don't mind that. That isn't actually in the file. So in this text file we have 20 Bucky Roberts. So now let's recap one last time what we did. In createFile.java is pretty much the meat of our program. We created a method to create a file, and that was open file right here, and we needed a try catch because of Java, and we said alright, we're gonna look for Chinese.txt, that file we want to write in. If we don't have it already, then create a new one so we can write in it, and that's what X new formatter does. So now we have a Chinese.txt file so we can write text in it. So what did we want to write in it? Well, we just wanted to add a record. We gave myself like an ID number, Bucky Roberts, and if we had to make like a system of like I had to make like a library for school, or they have like credit card numbers or anything where you need an ID number, you'd add a record after record after record, and you call this method a bunch of times, and I just moved that, and then that's how you get like a database on your computer. And then after that you just close your file so you can't mess with it anymore, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a little something, and hopefully I got this so you guys can see it, but oh well, I'm done with the tutorial anyways. So anyways, thank you guys. As I just said, don't forget to check out my giveaways, and don't forget to subscribe. So I'll see you next time.